Hello, my name is Apple of Doom and welcome to another Geometry Dash building video. In the last episode, we worked on this interior castle section, added in a bunch of detail, and I think it is looking splendid. Now in this episode, we've got to kind of fill out the rest of this, but I've also got a couple ideas for other parts of the level. I also got to say, it feels strange coming back here. I took a break last week and did a building challenge instead. The video didn't do too well, so I'll put it up on screen now. If you're interested in watching my building a level in an hour, go and check it out. I think it turned out pretty cool. But anyways, in this episode, I want to detail up this wagon that's just kind of been sitting here weirdly for a while. And I also want to add a couple of other details into this section because I think it's all right, but it needs a little more, you know? The other thing that happened was I got a friend that doesn't usually play Geometry Dash playtest the level. And although it went all right, there's a couple of changes that need to happen. So I think we'll get into those changes first before moving on. The main criticism was in this area. I don't know if you've noticed, but everywhere you can kind of walk on over here has kind of white thing here visible, but it doesn't actually work like that over here. So firstly, I'm going to remove these because I think they're a little useless. They didn't prove to be particularly helpful. And what I'll do is move to this layer, and then I'll take a couple of these pieces, make them white, and make them the same layer as this, and suddenly that should make a huge difference. Now you can tell, oh, I can go on this area, and I'll continue doing that for the rest of these. This section here might be a little trickier, just because there's so many sticky outy bits and that sort of thing, but what I think I'll do is just put them on the flat bits. A good rule of thumb to keep when you're making levels is to keep a lot of the design language the same. And what I mean by this is have as many elements consistent as possible. Say you have like trigger orbs, right? And you have trigger orbs that are red that kill you. Then you shouldn't have one later in the level that will not kill you. So that's why I'm applying like a similar principle here, where you know from earlier that anything that has like a white outline on top of it, you can land on. And so by doing the same thing here, I'm saying, hey, you learned earlier you can land on anything that's got this white outline, then I'm gonna continue it. If that makes any sense at all. I think it makes sense. All right, now that should be pretty much everything fixed up. Let's take a look how this looks. Apart from the orange kind of glitching a bit, yeah, that makes sense. Ooh, that's misaligned. How did that happen? That's how that happened. I fixed it. I'm not sure how I feel about it being on the front end, but it makes sense. The other thing that was that spikes are a little hard to see. So I think what I might do is I don't want to put like a full white outline around it. Otherwise that'll give it the same language as like this. And I don't want that. What I can do is go T1, make this, I don't know, T1 -1, whatever. I'll just put it fully behind. Just do something like that. And that should help make the spikes stand out a little more simply by having a glow piece behind them. Because I kind of did a similar thing earlier with having an outline around the swords in the first section, if you remember that. If you don't remember that, go and watch my other videos. Do it now. All right, now that I've done all that, I think I want to move on and work on this wagon. Now, I've mentioned in a previous episode, I want this wagon to kind of be like the one that's at the beginning of Astrolith, but with all the kind of weird stuff that's been happening with people getting angry at Zendagame for referencing art, which is a perfectly normal thing to do, I'm going to throw up all the pieces of art I use as references while I'm making this. I'm also going to be doing it in time-lapse form. So let's get on with the time-lapse. Hello and welcome to today's time-lapse where I work on the little wagon thing that goes out the front of the castle. This was quite a lot of fun to work on actually. I was surprised by how fun it was to work on, and it also took me about 2.5 hours. So 2.5 hours for something this small was utterly insane to me, but I think in the end it kind of came out alright, and you'll see me building it over the course of this time-lapse. But while I'm here, I wanted to talk about the Zendagame situation that kind of happened. Now that I'm editing the video, Zendagame's video has since been taken down, so I can't really show any clips or talk about it directly. But the main gist of it was that Zenda copied a bit of art for a level he made years ago, apologized for it, and then the GD community went out and attacked him, which I think is an awful thing. And I think it's part of a larger problem where a lot of the GD community, not necessarily like, it depends where you look. It's mainly on Twitter. They're very hostile towards creators for like no reason. You see that a lot with the NCS event levels, and like with that whole thing, like I do get it. I understand, you know, not a lot of the event levels. I mean, I didn't like a couple of them, but the community has been attacking the creators over pretty much nothing. And I was gonna make, instead of this video, I was gonna make another video that kind of went over the event levels, because that just finished, if you didn't know, the NCS collab event that happened with Geometry Dash. And I was going to go over like all the levels and rank them and give my thoughts on them. But I thought with all this stuff that's been going on, it's not really worth it anymore. I don't think it's a good idea to do it, and so I ended up scrapping the video because I don't want to feed into a lot of the negativity that's been happening. Because there's a lot of people that are just attacking creators, you know, saying their gameplay is trash, you know, they should never touch the editor again, and it's awful to like see. I'm glad that the community I've amassed here, people tend to like my what I create in my videos, and I'm very happy. I get comments now like saying that they love my videos and can't wait for the level to be released, and that makes me extremely happy, and I'm so glad I've got such a supportive community. But I know in a lot of other places, people don't have as much support for them, and I think that's so unfortunate. It's quite awful to see happening. And then you got the whole argument with like rate standards and all that sort of thing. It's just an awful situation. And so I feel really sorry for Zender Game, the fact that he's had to go through all this kind of hatred against him for a mistake he made a couple of years ago. Because he's a great creator. I absolutely loved White Space, but the fact that he's going to leave the community over that is just heartbreaking to hear. And I know it's happened to other creators, and it's just sad. Getting back to the time lapse, I took a bit of a detour, but getting back to the time lapse, I finished up the main wagon, and I'm really... at this point, it was kind of... I wasn't quite sure about it, because if you look at one of the main reference images I was using, it had that kind of Tudor-esque, you know, the white plaster with the wood panels on the front of it. And I thought that looked awesome, but this thing is so colorful compared to the rest of the level. Like, the level has a very earthy tone to it. I've kind of gone for more greens, browns, and bluey grey. That's kind of the main color palette. But this adds so much. This adds in the red and the yellow from the flags that we designed not that long ago. And I'm also going to add in a lot of greenery, which really helps it kind of stand out. And it's also got purples and whites, and it is it's a lot. So, like, leave a comment down below what you think of what I've made here. But I think it turned out alright. I feel like it might need one or two changes, but I'm not sure what they would be. But it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so maybe touching on the NCS event level thing I was talking about, the final level, Button Masher, got released. I'm not the biggest fan of it, just because it's one of those levels where it really obscures its gameplay, and I'm not a fan of that. If you notice, when I make gameplay, I really like to make sure it's extremely visible and extremely playable. And the section around 50% of Button Masher really was not it for me. But the amount of hate it's been copping is just absolutely ridiculous. And I feel like people really overstate when something is bad. If they don't like it, you know, they just like rag on it because they've got nothing better to do. I don't know, it's strange. But either way, I did end up ranking all the levels. I think just to let you know what my thoughts were, like, really quick, I put Button Masher at number 12, Back on Dash number 11, Skyline Part 2 number 10, Noel Electra number 9, Backstreet Boy number 8, Boogie number 7, Cheat Codes number 6, Retrospective number 5, Geometry number 4, Ruins number 3, Duckstep number 2, and Citadel number 1. You'll know, I absolutely love Citadel. I've used it as a huge inspiration in this level, and that and Duckstep, which I think Duckstep has incredible art direction. Notz is just an incredible artist in general. I think those two are definitely my standout favorites of the whole event. And I was going to make a video where I'd go deeper into my thoughts, but I thought it was just way too negative on the creators, because, you know, they were volunteered, you know, Vipper asked them to work on the levels of their own volition, and I think it's kind of mean to you know, pick apart their levels in such a way. So that's just my basic ranking. That's my basic thoughts, and I think I'll leave it at that. Getting back to the time lapse, I decided to add a second carriage to the wagon because I thought it kind of looked bare just having the single wagon by itself. So I reused the chains that I used for the chandeliers, just attached it, reused some of the boxes and things, and potted plants and stuff, so it could be like it's transporting a bit of storage, and I think that's awesome. And I added collision to all of it and everything, and I think it looks so much better. So it adds a lot of visual intrigue to this kind of area, Oh, I also finally added a hitbox to the drawbridge because that didn't have it, but I think it's turned out pretty alright. I'm really happy with how this looks. So I'll get back into the live play. Alright, so after all that time, I finally put together a nice looking wagon. I wasn't quite sure, I felt like I needed to add like a secondary thing that was lugging, so I thought if it's going into this kind of storage roomy area, I may as well have some of the decorations that are kind of in it, and I think that really adds to it. I love how vibrant this is, and after putting this together, I kind of want to put these leaf pieces like in other parts of the level, because I think they look awesome. I'm not sure they suit the kind of vibe of the rest of the level, which is the only problem, because we've got these vines and flowers going on, which I really enjoy, and I really want to add them to kind of areas over here, but I'm not sure if I should add those ones or these ones, because I was thinking of adding some greenery and extra things to this area. It's a bit too monotonous for my liking at the moment, and I think it definitely needs something extra, and so I thought some vines and things might work, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I think I want them to dangle from certain areas, in particular an area like this, for example. So I'm going to grab this vine and I'm going to flip it maybe and put it over here, and then I can put this on, I don't know, T3 would work, and then I can add this, rotate it here. This can be a vine coming off here, this on T3, and then maybe do this and put this on T3. How does that look? I can't really see how it works at the moment, but that's fine. And then all of these need to go on group 80. Alright, let's see how that looks. And I forgot to set a start pause. Classic me. The only problem with the start pause now is that now that I've added in a kind of orange filter over the top of a lot of it, it kind of breaks, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but doesn't really matter. Okay, that looks cool, but where are the flowers? Group 37 should be our scale trigger. Yeah. What? Okay, now I'm just confused, because it should be that this scale trigger here is what sets all the flowers to tiny, and then, oh, that's why it's not working. I forgot that it was touch triggered. Alright, now the flowers should work if I go past them. Yeah, that looks really cool. I think these vines should be extended a great amount down, and then I'm really happy with that. There's not a lot of variety in how they look, which isn't great. Yeah, these don't look quite right. Okay, where is this located? Here. Got that piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece. These ones should work reasonably well, right? All right, what is this? Both of them are 23. Okay, if I set both of these to 23, how do they look? Look a little thick, especially the rock pieces that were added in 2.1. What I could do is maybe replace some of these with thicker ones. It doesn't exactly match the best, but I think it will be fine for kind of what I'm going for. And I think I should flip it as well. I think it'd look way better if it came from the roof like this. What if I split these? And then I can kind of rotate them around however I want. Yeah, I think that works. There we go. And then we can have a couple of these smaller ones kind of dotted around. Maybe if I elongate this one out just a tad. Yeah, okay. There we go. Oh, and then I need to make sure this is all on the same layer. Whoa, it's broken, but it looks awesome like that. Oh, the layering on that is so sick. Okay, let me add all of these to the same group, which will be group 80. And I think I want to add this to the background. The other thing is I've just realized that this doesn't really reach the ground. I think I'll do that. Add a couple flowers to it. Yeah, it looks cool. And then I'll copy a couple flowers, and these can be the ones that are on B1. Don't have the group, and follow this path instead. I think I want to do the same thing with maybe one of these. If I bring this over here, set this to B1, grab a couple more flowers, line them up against here, and then put this on B1. Okay, and hopefully this should have a really, really cool effect. Whoa. Yeah, that is really cool. Although I feel like some of it should be in the background. Like more of it should be in the background rather. I kind of like that there though. What if I put this here and then I take some of the flowers that were there and then put these on B1 as well? Okay, gotta remove the group off all of these ones. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, oh man, that adds so much to it. That's awesome. I think I'm gonna add them all over this area. I think the only thing I'll do is take this area scale, just up it a little bit. Or, that's a better idea, plus or minus an extra 25 and 25. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that might have broken it a little bit. I kind of like them being more perfectly square because they end up a little elongated. And I guess we'll see it when we hit this section. Actually, doesn't look bad in that section, but closer up it doesn't work as well. So that's fine. I'll just make it like 10 and 10 because I do like having variation, but makes sense. And I'm also going to up the length. All right, let's see how this looks. Yeah, this looks so sick. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Now, the last thing I was going to do is, I don't know if you've noticed, but I never actually added in these pieces to the backgrounds that are here. So what I'm going to do is take this to layer 12 and just add them to the back. I'll mix it up like this so that it doesn't look quite as strange. Pop it down a bit, do a bit of this. Okay, maybe I should put it all together before I shrunk it down. That's my bad. I'm just going to take this to an open area and commit surgery on it. Yeah, that should be enough. And then I can squish it. Okay, add a couple pieces of it. And it's above everything. Oh, that's great. B3-1. Okay, these all need to be B3-2 then. Cool, that works. Probably should have put this on a different layer, but you know, I'm not smart, so whatever. I think we'll do a bit of this. Shrink it down just a touch. I think I kind of like it being full brick. Yeah. Okay, and then I can just copy this over here. I'm just going to copy all this, get rid of these back layers, and then realize I messed up. Hopefully that shouldn't clip anything, and hopefully this should look pretty cool. Oh my god, I just realized we hit 30,000 objects. So I started playing late 1.9, but mainly in 2.0, where 30,000 objects was the limit. So the fact that I've hit it already and I'm still got a bit to go is kind of crazy. But anyways, let's take a look how those backgrounds look. Yeah, that's looking great. Man, this whole area is like come a lot more alive, which is exactly what I wanted. That looks awesome too. And then you fall down and oh yes. I still need to add some detail to this, but there's other things I want to get onto in the meantime. So now the last thing I want to do is this coin right here. I've got a better idea for it. I had an idea, this barrel here, right? What I want to do is put the coin in here and this barrel will disappear so you can go boom, 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 boom. And it kind of unlocks that area. And I'll put a little indicator as to where it should go as well. So what is this? This is part of 67 and 70. So the way I've got the coin working is that if you hit both the bells, then it enables both those triggers, allowing this coin to be able to be gotten. So I'm going to put this here, and then how am I going to do this? If I go to this is just toggle group 67. Okay, 67 and toggle group 70, and that enables the coin, which is on 67 and 70. But now I need a way to toggle this off if both have been gotten. What I'll do is I'll find the layers where all this is. I'll add this all to group 232 and I'll have a toggle trigger group 232 which will turn off both 67 and 70. Hopefully that should work. This is going to require a bit of testing, so it's not going to be fun for me, but I'll skip over all of it for you guys. So I hit one bell there. All right, now that I've hit both bells, whoops. Okay, this should have all been added to the group, which was 232. So now when I hit the bells, it should disable these, and I've got these down here so that you can actually land on this area, but only when you hit the bells. What I'm going to do now is test to see if it only works with one bell, because if it does, then I've got a bit of a problem. It doesn't. That's perfect. And now I've gotten both bells. It works perfectly. That's awesome. Now, to indicate that this is where you get it, what I think I'll do is go to this layer, delete that, and then go to this layer and delete these little bits. And on this barrel, what I think I'll do is I'm going to grab the bell. I'll add this in it as well. So that's our little bell design. What I'm going to do is remove all the groups from it, have one that's 67 and have one that's group 70, shrink them all the way down and put a little keyhole on it. So this is bell 1 and I'll move this all the way over to here. There's nothing else on this layer over here, right? Cool, that's excellent. It's exactly what we want. Just add a bit of character to it. I'm going to add some glow over the top of it. I'll add this and this will be on the little bell ringy thing, whatever the hell it's called. I know this has a name. I actually don't know what the name of it is. The little ringy part inside the bell. Hey, if you know, put it in the comments. Okay, that looks a little stupid. It works, it's fine. Just adds that tiny little bit of shading. That's all I really need. And now I've got this. This can be number 67 and we'll hang it from here. This will be group 70 and we'll hang this from here. Just center them a little better. Ooh, I just realized this is the inverse of what I want. I want them to appear and disappear when you get it. So instead, I'm gonna make this 2, 3, 3. I'm gonna make this 2, 3, 4. They look a little dumb here, so I'll move them up here. I just keep stuffing this up. How very fun of me. So now we've got the 2 bells on there, 2, 3, 3 and 2, 3, 4. Because what we can do is we can go to wherever our toggle trigger is here, and then add one that's deactivate 2, 3, 3, and then add one here that's deactivate 2, 3, 4. And so now what should happen is when you collect the first one will disappear. When you collect the second one will disappear. So let's test to see if that works. It should, but we'll test. Cool. So we ring the first one, and the first bell is gone. Yeah, that's awesome. So this does work completely. I'm very happy with that. Now, for the final thing I want to do is actually just add a couple of these up here, because what I'm finding is it doesn't look like it's very safe to go down from here. So if I add these indicators, it should show, hey, look, it's completely safe to go down here. And it could even alert people down the bottom to the fact that there's something up there. Because otherwise, why would there be arrows coming down? If I have something like this, you can see it's showing the way down. I'm gonna rotate it slightly. I think that's cool. And then I'm gonna add the same one over here. Yeah, now you can really see you can go from there down. So I think that's great. And I did say I was gonna do this a couple episodes ago and didn't, but I wanna add these clouds here up the top. Because currently it looks a little silly how it just kind of cuts off. So if I add a couple here, this might lag out the level, but honestly, it's fine. I'm not experiencing any lag with the level, but I'm aware that low-end users will. So all the particles are probably going to end up being part of the LDM. So no one should really have to worry about that. I'll just finish up over here. And now if I play through it, I should be able to hit the top. Now if I go up, sure enough, there's a bunch of clouds up here. Yeah, that adds a lot. That makes it feel like you're kind of hitting the top of the area, and that's exactly what I want. That's awesome. I did not mean to exit out of it. All right, I'm pretty happy with what I've done today. This especially is insane. I can't believe I actually made that. It looks so cool. I'm very happy with it, and I hope you're happy with it too. Don't forget, if you like the video, leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm getting very close to 200 subscribers, which I'm quite happy about, and I've also been getting a lot of your messages on Geometry Dash, which has been awesome to see. I'm glad I'm growing a bit of a community, even if I'm a lot smaller. Don't forget to leave a comment whether you liked the episode or didn't, or you want something to change. I always read the comments and I'm always grateful for them, so I'll definitely be reading them and reading your suggestions. But I think that'll do it for today. Once again, the song is copyrighted, so I'm going to put my own music over the top of it. I hope you have a nice one, and I'll see you in the next video.